Hello, FLATED roadies. Ken Hoeve with FLATED, out here doing some truck bed camping in White River National Forest for an upcoming episode of our road trip adventures. But wanted to quickly recap 2 weeks ago, the GoPro Mountain Games took place. It's the second weekend in June up here in the mountains. The tagline for the Mountain Games is "Athletes, Art, Music, and Mountains." And this year did not disappoint. This event's been going on for a couple decades plus, and every year my good friend and GoPro athlete Chuck Patterson comes into town about 4 days early. And you might be familiar with him as a big wave surfer, and even more so as a big wave skier. That's right, he's the guy that gets towed in on skis with ski boots, even holding ski poles into some of the biggest waves in the world. And I always try to get Chuck into some kind of adventure, some kind of mayhem, and also kind of throw him to the wolves on the river. The guy's pretty much game for anything. He arrived on a Monday, and then I got word that night that the wave over in Salida, which you've seen many times on our commercials or just on our video post or on our Instagram, it was in really good. It had kind of gotten flat for a while, but it was at about 2,000 CFS, and all of a sudden it was a big chest to head high glassy wave. Took Chuck over there. He doesn't do a whole lot of river surfing, but that doesn't matter. He picked up on it very quickly and was just absolutely crushing it there. So that was a good time within like the first 12 hours of arrival. Then once we got back over to Eagle County, the Eagle River was pumping. And once again, Chuck, not the best whitewater kayaker due to the fact that in a hard shell, if you flip over, you have to roll up. I don't know that he knows how to do that, but I have this old beater inflatable Costco tandem kayak that I just took one of the seats out, put Chuck in it, and put a Cocatat dry suit on him, and then took him down the Eagle. I was in my kayak, he was in the Ducky, and we hit some high water. There were some huge waves out there. He didn't capsize, he didn't flip over, he didn't crash. He had a good time, and we got to the takeout all in one piece. The other thing that we had to do while he was here before the mountain game started is I have a sheep. His name's Pablo. He used to be a cute and cuddly little lamb. Not so much anymore. Pablo, he's a beast. He thinks he's a dog. He hangs out with our dogs all the time and the horses, but his wool was really thick. We needed to shear him. So Chuck, AKA Hank now, we went out there and tried to shear him. It didn't go well. Pablo is not looking good. I have to hire a professional shearer to come in and finish the work. Anyway, that's another story. From there, went into Vail, checked in. That's so much fun to actually show up into Vail and see all the excitement and everything going on. You check in, you get this awesome goodie bag with all kinds of stuff in it, hats, sunscreen. Oh, there's my dogs. What's he barking at? Hey, fucking nobody here. All right, I don't know what my dogs were chasing. Bear, elk, bumblebee, not sure, but they've calmed down. Where were we? Check-in. Oh yeah, after check-in, the very first event that I had was the whitewater kayak race. They call it the Gore 4, and it is a class 3 to class 4 whitewater race. Starts off in Vail Village, goes to West Vail. It's about 4 miles long, and it's like one continuous rapid. It never ends, although it kind of gets a little easier in portions. It's pretty much whitewater the entire way, and there are a bunch of locations that can get you off course and slow you down. I didn't really spin out or have any issues. There's a whole bunch of bridges, you know, that you go under, but right before this one bridge, there's this rock that you either go right or left of, and I didn't do either of those things. I went right off the top of it, hit the eddy, totally slow, and lost about 10 seconds. There's a couple other little mishaps, but no spin outs, no flips, didn't get hurt, had fun, so I'll consider that one a success. I placed 16th out of 20 something people, and as a 53-year-old man, I'll take it. I don't think I'll ever win one of those races again. We have got an emergency, and that is the rivers have spiked, and there is a legendary wave. And when I say legendary, I mean it is like the thing that people talk about. It comes in so infrequently that if you were to have a baby, you would have to skip your child's birth if this wave was in to go catch it. Good news is it's in. Bad news, it's not like huge, perfect Big Sur. It's that glassy wave out in front. The great news is there is no one here. I don't know that I've ever been here maybe but once that I have the whole place to myself. Let's go surf Big Sur. Woo! From there, I headed back into the village for the following day. We had raft cross. I was teamed up with Chuck on this one. And raft cross is a head-to-head bumper boat event. And one paddler's on one side, one's on the other. And when they go to start you for this race, they don't give you too much warning. You just sort of line up, and then all of a sudden Clay Wright goes, go! And you take off and you scramble, you get in the boat. There's a gate on the right-hand side that you've got to make, and then you've got to ferry across to River Left, and there's a yellow buoy that you have to make it around. There's only enough room for one raft to get through there, and they do it intentionally. I mean, you are jockeying the entire way, and then you've got to ferry back over to River Right to make another gate, and then as you come down into the village, there's one more gate, but then there's also a buoy that you have to get around before you get to the finish line. Chuck and I, unfortunately, did not make it to finals. We got to the semifinal round where we were knocked out, but it was great. And as an example of the carnage that can happen there, Vail has a man-made feature that they can adjust and make it really sticky if they want. And they did that in these rounds. And the raft that was behind us in our semifinal round ran into the raft that was ahead of us as they were coming out of the eddy and just back-ended them and flipped them. And Chuck and I still advanced on, but the crowd got to see the carnage that can happen there. So also, Chuck is an absolute monster, as I've mentioned. And for every one paddle stroke that he took, I had to take two. So I need to work out because I got to keep up with Chuck. The raft just wanted to spin the entire time. It's not easy to keep it straight. After that, we went into Sunday, and it's the final day of the event, and they saved the best for last. We have an event called the 8-Ball, and this is an event that I helped come up with like 20 years ago, and it is essentially a steel cage match of whitewater kayaking. It's a battle royal in that the world's best kayakers, some actually that suck, just some locals that aren't very good, but they do have the world's best kayakers. They come racing at like 5 at a time down the river, and then there's about 8 to 10 of us that are hiding out in the eddies that as they come down, we try to take them out. The thing this year is that the water was high, so they were really hauling ass when they were coming down at us, but got a few hits. The best hit that I got, however, was on one of our team members, Adrienne Levconnect. She's the best female kayaker in the world, in my opinion. And it was the women's final, and she was in the lead. I came out, stopped her cold. I don't play favorites. Doesn't matter if you're on our team or not. I'm not going to let you win. And she came back and kind of pissed off, I'd say. I cost her $250. That's the difference between first and second place. And she gave me an earful, but nonetheless, it was a good hit and a fair hit. Then the 8-Ball finals happened with the men. That was another good one. Didn't get any really huge hits, shoved people to the side, pushed people here, this and that, and got out of it. But it's even more intimidating because after the men's finals, they take all of the 8-Balls, all of us that were trying to take people out, and then we go to the top, and then we race each other head to head, while the competitors that were racing earlier, they put on the 8-Ball jerseys and they try to take us out. So it was fun. Kept all my teeth, didn't get hurt, didn't flip over. Another successful GoPro Mountain Games. It was time then to also go clean things up. Our booth was crazy popular the entire weekend. Actually had a woman try to steal our furniture. Our furniture is a huge hit, by the way. People walk by it, they look at it, it looks like a sculpture. And then some people have way too many Pacificos and then come back and try to snag it. I actually caught that lady almost to Bridge Street. She just said, oh, I was just trying to see how light it is. You could pick it up at our booth and check how light it is. You didn't have to walk 200 yards away with it. Anyway, it's kind of cool that people dig it that much. Cleanup was done. We even sold our topper that was on our truck. It was so popular there that right as we were about to leave, a guy came up. He's like, oh, I have that exact same truck. Can I buy that topper off of you? Sure. So we didn't have to leave with too much. Cleanup was done. Went home, recuperated after a week of activities in Vail. That's it. I'm going to get back to camping and chasing down my dogs. If you like these videos, hit that subscribe button and follow along with us. I'll try to keep the adventures exciting and different and share with you what we do with our gear. I even have our brand new air storage on the side. We'll have that one for the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Try yourself to get out there and do some adventures and camp. It's summertime and it is a beautiful time here in the mountains and around the country. So I hope to see you outdoors. Farewell.